Hello folks, I welcome you all for this next video on this video lecture series on RPA UiPath. And in this video, we are going to learn about a few basic activities which are used in UiPath automation. So while we create a workflow in UiPath tool, so we frequently need these activities. So today we are going to discuss we are going to discuss about few of the activities. And the very first activity which I'll talk about is a message box. So first of all, let me take a sequence. In the last videos, we have discussed to choose the best template for your project. And now we are going to discuss about the basic activities. Now in this sequence, what we'll do is we will drag and drop a message box. Like this, we can drag and drop a message box here. And now we can understand how we can display a message through message box. So basically, message box is used for displaying the output or for for checking the value which is stored in the variable. So suppose if you want to display something like, hi, this is my first UiPath activity, and simply suppose if you execute this, a message box will display and it will display the text directly to you. But suppose if you have created a variable, we have discussed about this variable. Why do we need variable and how do we create variable? So I'll not go deep into this. You can refer to the previous videos where we have discussed about the variables. And suppose I'll take a variable with name. Let's say v_name, and let's say vname. Okay, and this variable vname, we have given some default value. Let's say we have given UiPath. And suppose if I want to display this variable here along with this message, this is my first UiPath activity. What I'll do, I'll concatenate this string using a plus sign. And suppose if I want to give a space, so then in double quotes, I'll give a space. And after plus sign, I'll call that variable. That variable is vname. So if I execute this workflow, it is going to display me the text which I have entered here, and along with the variable which I have taken here. So this is the variable. Suppose if I want to rearrange it, or if I want to put some other thing instead of this space, then I can use a colon here. And if I execute this, it will give me output like this. All right. So this is how I can use message box in my workflows. Next thing we are going to discuss here is assign activity, which is yet another important activity when it comes to UiPath. And assign activity, let's take the same use case, and instead of giving the value of this variable in the default, let's take an assign activity. So how do we take these activities? We need to search it here, and by dragging and dropping it here, we can use any of the activity. So on the left hand side, I'll call that variable which I have created, and on the right hand side, I'll assign it some value. So basically, assign activity is used to assign some value or to write some expression. So I'm assigning some value to this variable which I have created vname, and this time I'll give it a name like RPA. And once I'll execute it, it will give me output like, hi, this is my first UiPath activity and colon and RPA, because RPA I have assigned to vname and vname I have called through this message box. So this is how you can use assign activity also. Moving ahead, we have next activity, which is called write CSV activity. So this activity is used to save a specified data table in a CSV file. So let's discuss the example for using this activity. And through this example, we are going to discuss about two important activities or two important features of UiPath tool. The very first feature is write CSV, as I have mentioned, and another activity or another button or another feature is data scraping. So quickly, I'll take another sequence here. I'll name it data scraping and write CSV. And once I say create, this new sequence is created. So I'll give you some basics or some basics or some, what you have to do before you start your start creating your workflow in this particular example. So the very first thing we are going to do here is we'll open a e-commerce website here. So I'll divide this complete use case into multiple parts. So in the first phase, we will open a e-commerce site. For the first time, I'll do it manually. After opening it, I'm going to search some product or some item into it. After searching that item, I'll be scraping few of the details, few of the elements of that item. Suppose let's say Fossil watch or Samsung mobiles or Apple phones. I'll scrape or I'll extract few elements from it. And after extracting few elements, I'll put it in the form of data table and I'll write that data into CSV file. So this is the sequence of activities which I'm going to do. So before that, I have to open a I'll open a e-commerce site, let's say flipkart.com. So after opening this flipkart.com, I'll close this window. I'll simply search for Samsung mobiles. This I'm doing manually. And once I get this page where I can see 636 cell phones with name Samsung, by the brand Samsung, I'll leave it open. And after doing this, I'll move to UiPath Studio, and then I'll simply click on data scraping. So data scraping button you will find here in this top pane of UiPath Studio design panel. And once you click this button, it will take you to the website or the page which you have opened in the background. Now it is asking you to select a value. This value you are selecting to train your robot that which particular item from this screen you want to scrape. So I'll say simply next. And suppose let's say I want to copy the names. I'll click on first name, then say next. And like this, I'm showing it a pattern. So what I have done here, I have extracted the names. I have trained the robot to understand the names and the pattern in which the names are stored, or the names are displayed in this particular e-commerce website. Now I'll give it a name like phone model. And suppose if I want to extract the URL also, I'll say URL and I'll click on next. So this has given me preview of some data. I'll show you this extract wizard. Here I can see phone model on this page. So almost 24 phones are there. If you can see here, 1 to 24 phones can be seen here in this particular page, along with its URL. And here we can decide how much maximum number of results we want to see. Let's say 300, because we have 600 phones, 636 phones here. Let's say I want to extract only 300 phones or only 400 or 500 phones. Let's say 500 phones. Now, along with this detail, phone model and URL, I want to extract some more details. So I'll click on extract correlated data. Once I click on extract correlated data, it will again start prompting me few things. So now this time I'll also extract the price of these phone models. So these phone models, let's say I'll name it price, and I'll say next. And after saying next, I can also see the preview of this phone price. Now three columns are created in the data table: phone model, URL, and price. Suppose if I only want to extract this data, I'll say finish. But after pressing finish, it will ask me a question, that is data spanning multiple pages. So yes, if we can see here, we can figure out that yes, data is spanned over multiple pages. Here we can see next button. So there are multiple pages on which these phones are placed, or these phones are kept. So I'll say yes, and I'll just indicate the next button. After doing this, automatically this workflow will be created, and in extract structured data, we can see that already a data table is created with the variable name extract data table. Now I have performed all the things using data scraping. Now I will enter this data into CSV by using write CSV activity. So this write CSV activity, I can take it from here and I can place it here, and here I can specify the path of that CSV document. Let's say this is the file. Let's say this is the file, and the data table which I want to write into that is extract data table, because already this variable is created in the last activity, this one. All right. After doing this, when I'll execute, first of all, let me clear that file. Or what we can also do, we can specify Flipkart demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will create automatically a new file. And let's say if we execute this, it will start scraping data page by page. Already the first page is over, second, third, and one by one, it will scrape the data from all the pages, because we have given it the limit of 500 mobiles. So it is going to extract only 500 phones, and where it is going to store this data in the CSV file we have selected or we have created. Right now it is scraping. Okay, so the execution is over. Now let us go and check that file, and here we can see that data stored: phone name, phone model, URL, and price. So if we can see here, we can see total 500 phones here which are listed, which are extracted. So like this, we can see the results of this particular workflow. So through this, we have understood how we can use this data scraping button and write CSV activity. So write CSV activity, as I've told you, is yet another important activity which is very frequently used in UiPath automation. So we are going to use this activity in coming use cases also, coming examples also. For this video, we have used, for this particular topic, we have used data scraping and write CSV. Thanks for watching this video. I'll be discussing some more important topics in the coming videos.